Match week one arrived like a plot twist in a telenovela and left us just as dramatically. There were ups and downs, dramatic storylines, and predictable overreactions. Now, match week two arrives with a cracking fixture list. Aston Villa hosting Arsenal on Bank Holiday Monday, the Unai Emery Derby. Spurs host Newcastle in the Tonali grudge match. Chelsea's front three, JP Morgan, chase a Brighton side that looked genuinely brilliant. And Manchester United, bruised from Hull, get Ipswich down at Old Trafford in what has suddenly become a must not lose.
This is the Armchair Galáctico, coming to you directly from the couch.
Another week, another set of Premier League memories waiting to be made. Welcome back to the Armchair Galactico's podcast. I am the couch. Match week 2 is upon us, and the couch would like to say, for the record, that the processing of match week 1 scorecard has been completed. 40% correct, 2 perfect calls, 6 wrong. The couch has reflected on this with the appropriate level of honesty, accepted what it means, and moved on with the speed of someone who has 10 more games to preview and absolutely no time for self-pity. Let's get into it. Before we talk specific matchups, a moment on what Match Week 1 told us. Because there are things we know now about this Premier League season that we did not know a few days ago. We know that Brighton are genuinely good, even without 2/3 of their front line missing because of injury. 4-0 against Aston Villa was not a freak result. It was a comprehensive, controlled, devastating performance for a team that presses at a level that very few clubs in this division can truly match. The couch now has Brighton as a serious top horse and possibly more than that. We know that Hull City are not here to be a soft touch. Beating United 2-0 was not a gift. It was a performance built on organization, on set-piece excellence, and a really solid defense. Hull will go into match week 2 as a team the rest of the division cannot take for granted. We know that Brentford are the real deal again under Keith Andrews. The press, the shape, the individual quality. Sangare in particular was the couch's player of the week. The couch watches Sangare and thinks this is a player who in a few years is likely going to be in a top European club. And we know that the post-Guardiola era at Manchester City is going to be complicated, fascinating, and probably ups and downs. And thanks to Ryan Cherky, could be occasionally brilliant as well. The couch has seen a lot of substitute cameos in this league. Ryan Cherky's was a doozy. Now, 10 games, 10 picks, match week 2. Crystal Palace versus Manchester City at Selhurst Park. The question the couch has been sitting with all week regarding Manchester City is this: how repeatable is the Cherky magic? Coming off the bench and producing 2 assists in under 6 minutes against Bournemouth was truly awesome. But Bournemouth's defensive shape by that point had been worn down by 60 minutes of City pressure. Palace are a different kind of challenge. Selhurst Park on a Friday night, under the lights, roaring, the crowd already halfway through their evening, is a very different proposition to the Etihad on a midweek afternoon. Enzo Maresca needs to demonstrate something in this game that goes beyond Cherky saved us in the end. City needs to show how they can control the game from the front, build a lead through the run of play, and win without relying on miracles. That is what the couch will be watching for. Crystal Palace lost to Everton in match week 1, a result that raised questions about their attacking threat and their ability to create against organised side. The couch thinks Palace will make City work because that's what happens at Selhurst Park. But City will have too much quality across their entire squad to drop any points here. The pick: Crystal Palace 1, Manchester City 3. We might even see the introduction of Ayoub Bouadi, the 18-year-old sensation for Morocco at the World Cup, as a new City midfielder. Maybe the new Rodri? Let's wait and see. Now on to Anfield. The first game on Saturday, Liverpool hosts Nottingham Forest. It's Iraola's first home game as the Liverpool boss. And the couch expects Anfield to be extraordinary. Liverpool drew at St. James's Park, the most dramatic draw of the opening weekend. A stoppage time penalty from Szoboszlai, equalizing after Newcastle had gone up twice. It wasn't a bad performance, it was an incomplete one. Words was worthless, as the couch noted in the review, and Isak was quiet in the kind of way that expensive strikers should not be in the first game of the season. But here's the thing: Anfield, home game, a crowd that's been building up all summer. Heck, the crowd that's been waiting after a year of dormancy for something to change. The couch has seen Florian Wirtz play at his best in Germany. The couch knows that what Wirtz looks like when he's comfortable, when the touches are flowing, when the space opens up, and he picks the pass that nobody else in the stadium saw. That Wirtz hasn't yet been seen in Anfield. The couch believes match week 2 is when we may get a glimpse or two of that Wirtz. Forest lost at home to Leeds, a result that wasn't quite a catastrophe, but a concerning one. The defensive shape was exploited, that build-out was disrupted, and against Liverpool, that will press with intensity from the front, that will cause chaos. Those same issues can become an even bigger issue for Forest. The pick: Liverpool 3, Forest 0. Wirtz announces himself at Anfield. Liverpool's first home points arrive comfortably. The only question is whether the scoreline flatters Forest or reflects exactly how the game went. Tottenham Hotspur versus Newcastle at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There is a specific kind of energy around a Tottenham game after a humiliating opening day defeat. The couch knows this energy. The couch has watched this energy many times over many years. It is part excitement, the crowd wanting to see a response, and part dread, because Spurs have a habit of making these recovery games feel inevitable right up until the moment they are not. 3-0 to Brentford on the opening day, their expensive midfield doing nothing of note. It was, instead, the same old story, just with some new shining pieces. But this week, they added a brand new frontline to complement the brand new midfield, bringing in Savio or Savinho and Omar Marmoush in from Manchester City. Again, expensive new pieces. Now, will these shiny new forwards click right away? Or will it take them time to adapt to De Zerbi's system? This will be a fascinating watch. Newcastle traveled with a particular grievance. They led twice at St. James's last week. They gave everything, but only ended up with 1 point, thanks to a 99th minute brain fade from one of their best players on the day. And this week, they get to play against Sandro Tonali, who used to be one of the top 3 players at Newcastle last year. This is a dressing room with something to prove, and they still believe they have the quality to prove it. The Galactico sees this one being a topsy-turvy game with multiple twists and lead changes. De Zerbi's system still hasn't found the answer to direct high-energy opponents who press early, and Newcastle have pace and physicality that will test the Spurs backline repeatedly. Spurs will score in spectacular fashion because they usually do that at home, but they will not defend well enough to win. The pick: Spurs 2, Newcastle 2. Both teams remain winless after 2 games. Now on to Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea hosts Brighton. The couch is genuinely excited about this fixture. 2 teams who won their opening games, 2 managers with clear progressive ideas, and a tactical clash that should produce something very watchable, regardless of how the match actually turns out. Xabi Alonso's Chelsea won at Craven Cottage 3-2. Their frontline, now being branded JP Morgan, J for Joao Pedro, P for Cole Palmer, and Morgan for Morgan Rogers. They each found the back of the net in that game. But it wasn't clean defensively. It was chaotic and brilliant, and somewhat alarming in equal measure. But now, they've just added the World Cup winning Emi Martinez from Aston Villa to replace their erratic, sometimes brilliant, but mostly erratic goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Brighton were flawless against Villa. Their press was relentless, their finishing clinical. Their midfield movement was constant. They looked like a team that had been working on this system for months and arrived at the Amex on opening day, seemingly as a fully finished product. These 2 teams represent an interesting contrast. Alonso still building something that is half finished, but already spectacular in attack. Brighton polished and complete right from game 1. Cole Palmer will be the difference maker. The couch said this before match week 1 and is saying it again now. When Palmer decides it is his day, there are very few who can stop him. Certainly nobody at Brighton. The couch is banking that this day, Sunday, is the day Palmer decides is his day. The pick: Chelsea 2, Brighton 1. Palmer's class edges it at Stamford Bridge for Chelsea. Brighton leave frustrated, but knowing they performed well enough to have won or drawn the game. Now to Old Trafford, where Manchester United host Ipswich Town. The couch would normally describe United in one of 2 ways. They'll win easily, or they're in shambles. Don't expect anything from them. Well, after match week 1, the couch isn't doing either of those. Hull City was a wake-up call for United, the football club, for Michael Carrick, especially after the way they closed out last season. The couch had predicted 3-1 to United, but they lost 2-0. The lesson: Carrick's United are still being assembled. They just signed a new midfield. Carlos Baleba just joined the new midfield to strengthen them in the middle of the park. The pieces are there. The shape is yet to form. Ipswich Town are a different opponent to Hull. They are away from home. Old Trafford, with 74,000 Red Devils who desperately want to see a win after the embarrassment of the opener, is a very different atmosphere to the MKM Stadium on a Saturday afternoon. Ipswich won their opener, beating Sunderland, which was impressive for a newly promoted side. But travelling to Old Trafford for what would be a bounce-back game for United is not the same as hosting another promoted club. The couch believes United flipped the switch to easily beat Ipswich, a relatively routine win. Carrick gets his first win of the season. The crisis is temporarily averted. The pick: United 3, Ipswich 0. The couch is committing to this. Old Trafford roars. Carrick exhales. And now to Villa Park, where Aston Villa host Arsenal on Bank Holiday Monday. The couch has been looking forward to this since the fixtures were released. Villa Park, one of the great old stadiums, a proper ground. This is the Unai Emery derby. Villa hasn't had the greatest of off seasons. Their spine, from their wonderful campaign last year, where they not only made Champions League, but they also won a European Cup. Morgan Rogers, Yuri Tillemans, Luca Digne, Emi Martinez, Ollie Watkins, Ezri Konsa, well, all of them are completely gone, sir. And they were humiliated 4-0 at Brighton. To add insult to injury, their newly signed midfielder Joao Gomez was sent off with a red card in that game. But this is Arsenal they are facing. And if you can say that Unai Emery is not particularly fond of a club, that club would be Arsenal. So you can throw all logic out the window, as anything can happen. Remember last year when Emi Buendia won it with the last kick of the game after a crazy melee in the penalty box? Arsenal arrive with a 3-0 win behind them, with Christos Solis having announced himself to the Premier League in the most emphatic fashion possible. Arteta's side looked like title defending champions. Organized, ruthless, calm under pressure. Havertz, Saka, Odegaard, all sharp, and they didn't even move into third or fourth gear. The couch expects Villa to score here. Their attacking quality is real. This is not a side without creative players. And Villa Park on a bank holiday Monday, with 42,000 people who have watched this side lose last year, will be itching to get a win. But the couch takes Arsenal. The champions travel well. Their defensive structure is not going to be undone by Villa's attack. And Arteta will have specifically prepared for this occasion. First true test of Arsenal's title defense on someone else's ground. The pick, Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 3. The champions take 3 more points. Villa get a goal as consolation and a reminder that they have quality, but the gap between the top and the rest is established early. Now, a quick run through the other 4 games. Bournemouth hosting Everton. Bournemouth lost at the Etihad in stoppage time after having victory within their grasp for much of that game. That was a crushing result for the Cherries. Everton, on the other hand, handily won their opener, showing quality and class. The couch thinks Bournemouth bounces back from the Etihad disappointment and takes care of business at the Vitality. 2-1. The Vitality Stadium is not an easy place for any visitor, and Bournemouth prove it against Everton this time. Coventry City versus Hull City. 2 newly promoted sides. One sprang a huge surprise, beating United in MatchWeek 1. The other, even though they played quite well, lost expectedly to the defending champions Arsenal. The energy here is fascinating. Hull will travel with the swagger of a side that has just beaten one of the biggest clubs in the world. But Coventry are at home in front of their own fans. They do need a result to demonstrate that their opening day performance was not the ceiling. And they will. The couch predicts that the champions of the championship will win this one. Coventry City 2, Hull City 1. Leeds United versus Brentford. Elland Road will be loud. Leeds won at Forest. A somewhat surprising, but possibly predictable result. But Brentford, 3-0 Villa winners over the Spurs. A pressing machine. And with their new superstar Sangare, who was extraordinary, Brentford is looking like a team that nobody wants to face right now. This should be a rollicking affair, seesawing with lead changes. Brentford's quality will prove to be just enough to match the energy created by Elland Road a difficult place for any visiting team. The couch picks this to be an exciting 2-2 draw with plenty of drama. Sunderland versus Fulham. Sunderland, highly regarded, especially by the couch, after their exploits from last year, lost their opener, which was a surprise. Fulham, despite losing to Chelsea, showed enough quality to suggest that they will be an exciting team, at least on offense. This will not be a dull affair. It will be chaotic and tactical at the same time, producing some of the best football we will see this week. Fulham will have its moments, but it will not be enough in the Stadium of Light. Sunderland wins 2-1. Right, all 10 picks on the table. 2 exciting draws, 6 home wins, and away wins for Manchester City and Arsenal. Those are the couch's predictions for match week 2. Write them down. You know he's going to be right. Or not. But get ready to start your engines nevertheless. That's the Armchair Galactico's predictions for match week 2. The couch is signing off. Right about some of it, wrong about most of it, same as always.